Ever feel like trying to understand the global stock market is kind of like, well, trying to predict the weather?
Definitely unpredictable at
It's
times.
exciting though, right?
Yeah.
Full of surprises and big swings that can leave you scratching your head.
Absolutely. It's a roller coaster for sure, but within all the chaos, there are some serious trends shaping how things are moving both today and down the road.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's what we're diving into today, uncovering what's really driving the wins, the losses, and the whole shebang of the global stock market. We're breaking it down.
Unpacking it all from those big stock exchanges everyone's heard of to the rise of, well, everyone getting in on the action.
Okay, so first things first. What exactly is the global stock market? I mean, it's got to be more than just Wall Street, right?
Oh, yeah, way more. It's this interconnected network, and I mean massive, of stock exchanges around the world. Think the big names like the New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, those are in the US, of course, but also the London Stock Exchange, the Tokyo Stock Exchange, you name it. It's global for a reason.
And they're all constantly trading,
Yeah.
buying and selling stocks, which are like little pieces of ownership in companies, yeah?
Exactly. And it's those trades, millions happening every second, that determine those stock prices we see ticking up and down. It's a constant dance between buyers and sellers, all reacting to, well, everything.
And speaking of big players, we got to talk about uh, tech giants like Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. These companies are basically running the show, aren't they? At least it seems like it. Their stock prices are always sky high.
It's amazing how much influence those companies have, and frankly, how quickly things change in that world. I mean, think about it. Just a few years ago, smartphones were still kind of new. Now, it's the norm. Cloud computing, artificial intelligence, all driven by these tech giants, and investors are, well, obsessed.
They're hooked.
Yeah.
But it makes sense, right? Tech is driving, well, pretty much everything these days. Like if you're not in on the tech game, are you even investing?
Well, not necessarily. It's easy to get caught up in the hype, but the market is more than just tech. One of the most interesting developments lately is the rise of everyday investors.
Ah, yes. Remember that whole GameStop situation a while back? That was wild.
It definitely shook things up, and it showed just how powerful these online communities and individual investors can be. Platforms like Robinhood have made investing so accessible that it's not just for the Wall Street guys anymore. Anyone can get in on the action.
It's true. And they're not just chasing those big tech names either. We're seeing more and more investors, especially younger generations, really caring about where their money is going. Like, are these companies doing good in the world?
That's the rise of ESG investing, environmental, social, and governance. Investors now, they're factoring in things like a company's environmental impact, social responsibility, their corporate governance practices, all that good stuff before hitting that buy button.
So it's not just about the bottom line anymore. People are putting their money where their values are. I like it.
It's a big shift. But let's not forget the stock market isn't some isolated bubble. It is deeply connected to, well, everything happening in the world. Global events have a huge impact.
Oh, for sure. Trade wars, elections, heck, even the weather can send those stock prices on a roller coaster ride. It's enough to make your head spin.
Tell me about it. I remember back when that big trade war was happening, it was chaos. Uncertainty was everywhere, and investors, well, they hate uncertainty. It's all about calculating those risks and potential rewards, and when global events throw a wrench in things, it throws everything off.
Right. I mean, one minute things are looking rosy, and the next, bam, a natural disaster or political upheaval. You just never know.
Yep. And let's not forget the role of central banks. Their decisions on interest rates, like the U.S. Federal Reserve, have this ripple effect across the entire globe.
So much to keep track of, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot. So looking ahead, what does the future hold for the global stock market?
Hmm.
What's your crystal ball tell you?
Well, if I had a crystal ball that accurate, I'd be on a beach somewhere. But I can tell you this, things are changing fast. We've got renewable energy, artificial intelligence, biotech. These sectors are exploding with potential, and that always attracts investors.
That makes sense. Where there's innovation, there's money to be made.
Exactly. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's always risk, right? Inflation, those pesky regulations that are always changing. And let's not forget the whole geopolitical landscape. Things can change quickly.
It's a lot for investors to navigate.
Hmm.
So as we wrap things up, I have one final thought-provoking question for you to ponder. Some experts are saying all this AI and automation, it's going to lead to another tech bubble, just like back in the dot-com days. What do you think?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Is the market headed for a boom or a bust? I guess only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, it's going to be a wild ride.